Hi everybody, April Walker here. I wanted to take a minute and talk about shame loops. Shame loops are something that we could have inherited, that could have been brought on in our family dynamic, that could have been imprinted on us. There's a lot of ways that we get these, but the bottom line is they're not ours. It's something that has been done to you or has been passed along to you, like a bag of garbage just handed to you, and then you go through life with this bag of garbage, being triggered by this bag of garbage that doesn't make sense. Let's look at the 2-year-old. 2-year-old starts to crawl, starts to get into things, pulls off a glass candy jar, and it lands on the floor and breaks. And then whoever's candy jar it was has been passed down from generation to generation, and mom's super upset. Oh, because she's upset this something special that's been in her family for generations is now broken. And so she's yelling and she's upset and she has her feelings. Well, a 2-year-old is just exploring their world. They didn't go, how can I hurt my mom? How could I break something that has been in the family for years? They don't have that kind of cognitive development. They're busy doing what they should be doing, exploring the world. That's just one example of how some of these things get put into place. So when we're clearing them, when we're clearing typical emotions of shame, we can get so far with that. But when we're actually diving into the shame loops, it's quite a bit more challenging. We have to be able to take a look at the fact that we are carrying around somebody's garbage. We have to be able to recognize that we're carrying around garbage. So it's a bit of a journey. And that's what the one-on-one sessions and the group sessions are for in the 365 Learn to Love Yourself program. We dive deep into these loops so that you're not constantly on this figure 8 journey where you're just getting there, you're getting there, you're getting there, and then you're sucked back down on that roller coaster to the other side and you begin the loop again. So shame is not something that serves us. It doesn't serve us. And part of that is that we think that shame keeps us from doing things we shouldn't ought to do. But let's take a look at that 2-year-old and that 4-year-old. Do they have much to be ashamed of? I look in child development when I'm teaching teachers about development of the mind and of children's behavior. 2-year-olds don't know how to share. And so we spend all this time saying, share, and we say no, and you need to learn to share, and what's wrong with you? They simply don't have that development yet. There is no sharing. The whole world is what's right in front of them, what they're exploring, what they're doing. So then there comes a point in time when we're usually tweens, before we're teenagers and then through teenagers, where we start shaming ourselves. We start just stacking that stuff up. You know, our nose is too big, or, you know, we didn't get a good grade, or we're not as pretty as. We start comparing, right? So we start shaming ourselves, and that becomes incredibly heavy. And it's in the way. It's in the way of you loving yourself. Let me help you get rid of these. You can't imagine being free of them, these shame loops, until you're free of them. And then once you are, you're like, oh my gosh, I've carried that around a long time. So there's another little loop to go through on letting all these years go by, carrying all that garbage. It's not yours. It's not yours. Anytime you're taking a look at shame, stop and look. Wait a minute. Is this mine? You know, did I do something just incredibly bad in some way? Did you? Stop and look and put it into place. Don't just rush through and get busy with your life and forget about it, because let me tell you, it gets triggered. It affects your life. It affects your relationships with people. It affects what you think you can do. It affects your sense of worthiness. I hope this is helpful, but be willing to evaluate shame very seriously. Namaste.